Hi everyone, welcome back to FAL Consulting and our trading course. This lesson will focus on social metrics in cryptocurrency. Here's an overview of what this lesson will be about. We'll first go over what social metrics are. We'll also perform various analysis of various cryptocurrencies using different social metrics. We'll talk a lot about market cycles and how to analyze these social metrics and how these social statistics will vary throughout the course of a market cycle. And we'll also take a look at Google Trends and various analytics that Google offers. So, social media has played a major role in the overall adoption and price growth of the cryptocurrency space. It can be used as an indication of interest in this space, where if we see high or higher levels of interest, this can imply more potential investors, more users in the space, overall more people looking up or talking about the cryptocurrency or overall cryptocurrency sector could lead to higher asset valuations as demand grows, more people are interested and there is a heightened level of demand. And the reverse is true as well, where lower levels of interest imply less potential investors, less people in the space could indicate lowering demand, resulting in lower asset prices. Now, one of the first social metrics and the main one that we'll be taking a look at is social dominance. So social dominance is the measurement of a coin's mentions on social media as a percentage of the total social activity of cryptocurrency. Basically, you can think of this similar to the idea of Bitcoin dominance, where you are tracking a coin's percentage of the total crypto social space. So think about, let's say Bitcoin commands 40% of the overall social space. Of all the crypto talk on social media and in various news outlets, 40% of that total cryptocurrency discussion is focused just on Bitcoin. Now, that figure of social dominance, if it is raising, there's an implication that there is increasing public awareness and conversation around that specific coin project, which could potentially lead to future investors, future buyers, and more importantly, increased demand. More conversation about it could theoretically lead to increased demand, and as demand goes up and if the supply remains the same, theoretically the price of the asset could go up. Now, let's take a look at a few examples of different coins and their levels of social dominance for the year 2020-21. So here's a chart from Santiment, a great analytics provider. Here we're looking at Bitcoin in regards to, in green, we see Bitcoin's price from early January 2021 throughout 2021, the main Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and into 2022. In the pink color, we see the social dominance of Bitcoin. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a note of various correlations and differences, divergences, if you will, between the price of Bitcoin in green and the social dominance or the overall social activity of Bitcoin in various social circles, whether it's social media, Twitter mentions, or news reports. Okay. So focusing first on Q1 2021, we see Bitcoin with a rather significant price increase from about 19,000 early January 20,000 and breaking higher and passed into 30, 40, 50,000 and eventually reaching a new all-time high of about 64,000 in April. At the same time, on the right side of our screen, we see on the y-axis in green would be the price indications. The pink would be the social dominance in terms of a percentage of the overall market. Now, starting off the year, we see Bitcoin having a tremendous control over the social space of crypto as a whole. More people were talking about Bitcoin than any other coin, and that still relatively remains true to this day, for the most part. There are some challenges to that, but previously, before 2021, even throughout 2020 and in other market cycles, the 2017, 2015 cycle, 2013, we saw that Bitcoin really dominating the discussion at the table, so to speak. And we see that really starting off in 2021, where we see Bitcoin establishing a high for the year of about 43.6%, give or take, of control of the entire social dominance of the social circles within crypto. Now, this figure has significantly deteriorated over the past year. Particularly what's interesting here is we see throughout the course of Q1 2021, as price went up from January up into April, Bitcoin's social dominance went down, relatively speaking. We see the high of 43% achieved in early January, and really Bitcoin has not come close to achieving that control of the overall social media circle, the social media dominance. As prices going up reach forming new highs, higher lows, we see the social dominance essentially deteriorating, forming lower highs and lower lows, particularly going into April, where we see a bottoming out into May. And this could correlate along with the dramatic price crash. But as we see here, as into May, June, and July, as the price of Bitcoin crashed, forming lower highs, lower lows, mainly due to a variety of factors, the Chinese mining ban, Elon Musk essentially saying that they don't want to accept Bitcoin for Teslas anymore. There's a number of reasons why this happened, but focusing on how that relates to social dominance, we see as price was going down, social media dominance of Bitcoin regained its strength. Almost, really, this is the closest challenge which we see in about early June, maybe late May, early June, of reaching a high in terms of social dominance. Here we see about 38%, give or take. And really, Bitcoin has not garnered that significant control of social dominance in the space since even this late May, early June figure, and even before that, the early January 2021 figure. Now, part of that could be due to the rise of altcoins. We see Ethereum really solidify itself and continuing to build its own ecosystem. Other challengers such as Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, and a number of other viable projects and legitimate projects coming to really establish their own ecosystems and social circles where there's hype around those coins, and they're taking away social control away from Bitcoin. Essentially, there's only so many people within the cryptocurrency social space, and now they're starting to diversify in what's really being discussed. It's not just about Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't have as much of a hold over the social media space in crypto as we see here, as evident. It's not something that's anecdotal. It's actually factually tracked and based. It's data. It's analytics based data. It's an analytics based statement. Right now, looking into July 21. Into August, September, October, we see overall Bitcoin reversing from its downward pattern shown in Q2 into Q3, quarter 3, as price is going up. Here we see another divergence. What's interesting here, Bitcoin's price going up into early September, reaching a new a local high of about 52,000, give or take, before falling and suffering from a short-term downtrend which could be attributed to the Evergrande situation, which really was let out, essentially, was really announced back in September. Here we see Bitcoin's social dominance declining. As prices are going up, Bitcoin's social dominance is declining. Now, once again, this could be attributed to a number of factors. Other altcoins, particularly Ethereum. Around this time in August, there was an update to Ethereum's protocol in regard to the EIP 1559, which is an update to Ethereum's fee structure and how fees were handled. That really dominated social circles and social media trends. And I think we do see a resulting downtrend, as we see here. Overall, lower highs. We do see another peak here in late October of about 32% of the overall social dominance. This could be attributed to the Bitcoin ETF release on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, here's a chart. This is actually offered from TradingView. Now, TradingView in the market analysis section, before jumping into the full chart page, if you scroll down, you'll actually be able to see a fundamental a line chart that will indicate and show various news events, essentially fundamental changes or announcements, events that could have an impact on Bitcoin's prices. Here we see, particularly in that late January, early February period in 2021, where we had the Musk event, the Musk effect, where Elon Musk said that Twitter will be, not Twitter, but Tesla will be purchasing Bitcoin and accepting Bitcoin payments for their vehicles. PayPal moves into Bitcoin. Bitcoins can now buy Teslas. This was in late March. Morgan Stanley offering Bitcoin access. And then following that, we had the severe downtrend into May, June, and July, where we had various events, tweets from Elon Musk saying that they're not going to accept Bitcoin, that there is an environmental, that they are an environmental concern for the time being. We also had at this time the Chinese ban on mining and a variety of other events that could be attributed to the price movement, whether up or down. And here's some key takeaways. So the key thing we saw there was that there was a very strong start in Bitcoin's January 2021 social dominance, where it fluctuated around that 45%, but ultimately fell into February as altcoins gained traction in the space. Bitcoin social dominance continues to fall into Q2 as other coins, particularly Ethereum, gain a greater share of the social space. Price action was unaffected as it reached new all-time highs. That's where we saw the divergence. The price of Bitcoin was going up, but social dominance fell. That could be attributed and could be said to be an indication that, hey, interest is leaving Bitcoin, but the price is going up. And that's where it could be said that if the price is going up without interest backing it, it could be entering a speculative bubble. Now, the trend reverses as Bitcoin's price fell to 30,000, where social dominance in Q3 increased to levels not seen since January. A lot more people were talking about Bitcoin during May, June, and July. Now, in a crypto market crash, altcoins typically will have the worst performance in terms of cumulative losses and recovery compared to Bitcoin, as it is considered the main driving force of the market. Once again, everything moves with Bitcoin for the time being. The market is getting more and more diversified, but for now, Bitcoin still is the main mover. If Bitcoin goes up 10%, the altcoins, everything else, is going to follow. If Bitcoin falls 10% or more, the altcoins will follow as well, and typically will have greater variance in in terms of percentage gain or loss. So if Bitcoin loses 10%, the altcoins might lose 20% or 30 or even more. And the same way going up as well. Now, particularly in late June and July, we saw lowering social dominance along with price action up until late July, where the price action finally reverses to the upside. What's interesting there is that we saw price was starting to go up. Social dominance was driving down. At that point, we could attribute that to, once again, Ethereum, Cardano, other coins in the space, Solana, really gaining traction and building their own social ecosystems within the total crypto space.